Hey guys, I'm Rob from Dwarvenkegger, and today we're going to be doing some simple gaming food for you guys. Something to do in between a raid or something like that. I know that when I was doing World of Warcraft a lot, in between, like when we were trying to take down a boss, something like that, we always had a 30-minute break every hour to help out with everything the droid you're looking for, I promise. So today we're going to do a really simple shrimp quesadilla. So the easiest way to do the shrimp quesadilla is to start with a little bit of oil. I use 6 shrimp. Substantially easier to start with a hot pan. Give it a little flip. Kind of get it going in there. And I make my own seasoning. It's chili powder, cumin. I use a little bit of paprika, salt, pepper, and then to top it all off, I'll throw in a little bit of sugar, just because I think it gives it a good mix. There's some garlic in there as well. So just kind of lightly sprinkle these guys, give them a little toss. Now you'll see that I have a wet cloth here, some paper towels. That's so that I can wash this, wipe it out at least before I'm ready to start doing the actual quesadilla part. But right now what we're doing is we're just making sure we cook this shrimp all the way through, and then we'll give it a quick chop. We'll throw a tortilla in there, throw some cheese on it, sprinkle these guys on it, fold it over, let it crisp, and then we'll cut it for a final product. Right now, I'm actually drinking a Guinness Blonde American Lager. It's actually really good. I like it a lot. So these shrimp have about another minute 30, maybe at the most. When those are taken care of, we will dump them onto the cutting board, and then we'll wipe this down. Shrimp don't take very long to cook, which is why I've chosen them for this. So hopefully you guys like shrimp. We can call this like the quesadilla from the Black Lagoon because of the crustacean looking kind of things going into it, right? So we're just about there on the shrimp. When they start to kind of ball up like that and they get nice and firm to the touch, then you know they're starting to get done. So always make sure you clean up after yourself, because depending on if you're living at your mom's house or your girlfriend's house, or you guys are dwelling together, they might get a little upset if you don't actually clean like you should. So I'm going to say these shrimp are there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop those shrimp on there. I'm going to use our cloth or our rag, and I'm going to try to wipe this out as best as possible. That way we have something clean to start with. So it's not going to be too bad. Take it off the heat for right now. Toss this guy. Give these shrimp a good cut. This is the knife I use at work. This is a Shun. Just give it a quick rough chop. That should be plenty there. Now we'll put this bad boy back on the heat. A little more oil. Just enough to kind of coat the pan a bit. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to kind of rub the oil around so that it's nice and even. That way we can make sure that the tortilla itself is going to cook nice and crisp all the way through. Now I use just the regular store-bought stuff from Meijer. The shrimp are from Meijer. The cheese is actually an Aldi cheese. If you guys have an Aldi around you, I recommend it. It's pretty BA. It's badass, by the way. So we'll let that get a little warm. Maybe turn it up just a little bit more. Sprinkle some cheese on it. I like to give it a little healthy bit of cheese. Something you're going to want to kind of fill you up or hold you over until you can grab dinner, or if this is just a late night snack. You want to wait for this cheese to melt. Once the cheese melts a little bit, then you can throw your shrimp on. Then you'll fold her over and everything will be delicious. So it's starting to get there. You can see the cheese is starting to melt. This really isn't a bad beer. It's not what I expected from a Guinness. I actually expected something a little bit more, a little harsher on the end, but it's actually really smooth. I could drink that all day if I wanted to. As you can see, the cheese is definitely starting to melt now. So we'll take the shrimp and we'll kind of spread the shrimp around on here. Make sure you make it somewhat even all the way through. Always make sure you clean up after yourself. You have time because you're waiting on that cheese to melt. And then you'll take your handy dandy spatula, because you know people should have that. Just kind of get up underneath there, fold her over. Make sure she's getting nice and brown. You can see there's some browning on that. We're going to let it go a little longer on the other side. We'll flip it. Then we'll put her on the cutting board and we'll cut it. And we'll see the final product. And that's kind of what you're looking for. Like I said, this is super quick. And I used to do this all the time when I was gaming. Quesadillas were a big one. I used to do homemade pizzas, but I always had dough on hand. I am a chef, so I do some random things that most people don't normally do. But hopefully I can get you guys to the point where you can kind of start cooking like I used to, or like I do still. I don't game as much as I used to, just because my job and I have other things in my life that kind of take my evenings. But we will discuss that a little later. So as you can see, that quesadilla is nice and crispy. You just want to give it a couple cuts. And that's what you get. Nice and melty. Everything's good. I'd say it's a good quesadilla.